Don't you love how I start the stream and then run off? Okay, I don't want Apple Music. Thank you. How come it's not playing? One moment, guys. Good morning, Rose. All right, guys. Good morning, Karen McIntosh. Happy Sunday. Hey, Pat. Happy Sunday. Sorry I'm a little bit late. It's a little bit beyond 11. I slept in. I slept really well. I think that, I did get up at 7 to feed the dogs because the dogs have alarm clocks inside their little bellies that say, "No, Daddy, it's time." So they start to passive aggressively push me in the bed and wake me up. You hung out with Matt, Karen? Cool. You'll have to let me know all about it. Private message me and tell me how it went. I'm interested to know, especially since that reading that you booked. So they woke me up at 7. I did their breakfast, took them out to go potty, and then they promptly went right back into the bedroom and went right back to sleep. And I felt like that was a really good deal. Hey, Marley Alvarez, how are you? I'm going to share this out to a couple of groups while I have the chance. Since I'm not in Facebook jail, I suggest you guys do the same. If you know any groups where this video would be appreciated, please share it out. Do not share it anywhere where it's not allowed. I would appreciate that. Hey, Ducky. How are you, honey? Duck is my ride or die bitch. Okay, my Facebook isn't working. I saged the shit out of all my electronics this morning and all the cards and everything in an effort to try and make sure that nothing messes up this broadcast. So we'll see. Good morning, Karen. How are you? And of course, Facebook is less slow to respond. As am I. I'm still waking up, guys. I'm having my first cup of coffee, which feels really good. I did have a little breakfast this morning with the dogs, a couple bananas and a nut oat bar, but I need to have oatmeal after this. I'm trying to be really conscious of what I eat. I'm trying to eat cleaner. Hey, Anna Alves. How are you? Welcome from YouTube. I hope you're a subscriber on YouTube. If you're not, please subscribe to my channel. Sure, while we're waiting, Anna, you can ask a question if you would like. Oh, Buddha's not centered. There we go. Get over there, Buddha. Why is my Facebook not working right now? Maybe I'm not supposed to post this video. Hi, Wendy Engel Parker. Nice to meet you. Is it possible I would like to know my love life in the next 3 months? I'm single. That's something that is possible to look at. I can do that in a love reading, but that would be more something that we would do with a full session, which would be about an hour. I do look at the future a little bit, but what we do look at is a lot of what's going on in the present time, what you're doing right now emotionally, how you're feeling, what you're vibing at, what you're putting out into the world. That's going to tell us sort of what you're creating for the future, you know? So if there's some sort of unaware fear that we have, or some worry, or a bad experience that we have in the past that we're allowing to lead our, excuse me, coffee, that we are allowing to lead our thinking going forward into new relationships, it could be blocking us, or it could be causing us the opportunity to sort of put those relationships that we're seeking further away from ourselves. So those things would be questions, those are bigger questions that would be better dealt with in, say, a bigger reading. You can certainly book with me. I can put here's my link to all my contact information. Since you're from from your YouTube, and I love that you're from YouTube. I love my YouTube watchers. This Linktree link that I'm posting in the chat right now gives you all of the ways to reach me via not only Facebook, but why is it not posting? Is something wrong with my internet? Are you guys seeing me okay? It's not seeming to let me post this into the chat. I have a feeling something's up with my damn internet, because Facebook's not loading on my phone. Let me try turning off my phone really quick. Oh, whoa. It's a lot of sound. Sorry. Come on, Facebook, come through. Oh, there we go. Give me one moment, guys. You will post it for me, Ducky? Thank you, because for some reason it's not allowing me to post the link into the chat. It's the full moon. Yeah, that's right, guys. We have this full moon tonight. It's something I think to be excited about. It's all about sort of, good things from what I can tell. I've read a lot of different memes.
They won't be the 7.
Oh, whoops. That's me. I need to find my video. Hello. So I can share it. Damn it. That's not going to be possible today. Oh, here we go. All right, let's share this. Engelgeist weekly tarot reading forecast for Sunday. Sorry, I'm just thinking, guys. My head's still not firing off just yet, this is good. We're waking up. Sunday, June 16th through Saturday, June 22nd. Wow, it's passing away, man. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my new YouTube channel and Facebook group. All information is on the original video. Share to a group. Uh-oh, it looks like I'm back in Facebook jail again, guys. Lightworker live feeds won't let me post there. Yep, I'm back in. Some are letting me and some aren't. Maybe they've just permanently blocked me. Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. I'm not very technically savvy, so I don't know exactly what works and what doesn't. Let me turn down that music. It's a little dramatic. So for those of you that are new, my name is Dan Geist. I like to do a little weekly forecast on Sunday consisting of 3 cards that gives us a sort of insight into what's coming up for the week. And each card signifies, a couple of days for each person. It is not set in stone. Some cards you might experience, some cards you may not. Each person is different. They all have their own, path in life. So you may come across these cards, you may not. The purpose of these cards, or the intention when I set this up, is to help us to have insight into our week so that we can sort of move through these situations with a more ease and feeling more empowered, feeling more capable and aware of what's going on, and not necessarily feel sort of victim to the things that are happening around us that we maybe aren't okay with, right? Because technically, if something's happening to us, be it positive or negative, on some level we're manifesting it. On some level we're in agreement to it, or else it wouldn't be happening to us, right? That's my belief. Yeah, I did read the post about the new Facebook update. It's weird. It let me post to about half the groups that I normally post to, and then others it didn't. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. This is different. It's okay. We all can post, Ducky says. And you guys should be posting this out. Like, if you're not, then you're not really supporting me. I hate to say it. If there's those of you that go to other groups to get other readings in other groups, and there's multiple groups that have different readers, you should be helping me out by posting my readings into those groups so that other people can find me too. Don't hog me all just for yourselves, ladies. I'm just kidding. But it would be a great help and a great service. Even if you post it on your personal page and just put a little note like, hey, I watched this guy, he's great, check him out. You know, any bit helps, because you never know where it's going to come from and you never know how it's going to affect. And my intention is that I hope that I affect many and in a positive way, so that we better the world and we make a better place, a better community, a better planet, a lighter vibration, a happier world. And through me pursuing what I want to do and what I feel like my goals are, hopefully others will find the bravery and the courage to go ahead and do theirs. And you know, it's not always perfect for me. I'm not always brave. I'm not always courageous. I pray for it a lot. But it's what helps to get me on every morning. Good morning, Jennifer Nichols. It helps to get me on every morning and see this through. And even like, you know, a couple weeks ago when I went off for 2 weeks, the anxiety was super bad. But, you know, I prayed through all of that to get back here, because this is really what I want to do. No, you haven't missed it yet, Jennifer. I'm just starting. I'm just rambling on. Coffee is kicking in, girl. Okay, so let's get to started. So we're looking at the week starting today, which is Sunday the 16th, going through till Saturday the 22nd. And like I said, some of these cards may affect some of you. Some of them may not even touch you at all. Some of them you might go perfectly in line. So I don't want you to take everything I say as like the gospel, like, oh shit, here comes a bad card, we're gonna have a shitty midweek. Doesn't necessarily mean that. It's all, good morning, Terry Clapham. It's all how we choose to sort of relate to these energies, you know, because even in negative energies, we can learn something and we can learn to adapt to sort of make them work for us or to teach us. And then they don't stay around as long. You know, if we resist them, they're going to stick. You know, if we focus on them, they're going to stick. And resistance is a form of focus. Like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. You think you're saying, I don't want this, like, get it away from me. But what you're really saying is this, this, this. And your focus is actually on it. Okay. Ducky says she's excited for this reading with the new moon. I know. Let's see what the new moon's bringing us. It's a full moon. It's not a new moon, so it's a full moon, right? And I think it's in Sag. So it's supposed to be sort of positive stuff. So let me take a breath. Let's all just take a breath together. A deep breath. Hi, Eleni Selassie. How are you? I hope you're subscribed with us on YouTube. Welcome. So let's take a deep breath. Get centered. To the present moment of right now, June 16th at like 11:30 my time, whatever time it is where you are. Take another deep breath, and as you're imagining taking in that deep breath, just imagine positive signs, like plus signs, coming in through your nose and filling up your body full of positive energy. And as you're exhaling through your mouth, just imagine negative signs, like the minus signs going out your mouth. You're releasing any negative energy, any energy that's lower vibration, any energy that doesn't belong to you. Let's do that one more time. And one more time even. Positive signs coming in and filling your body wherever they need to go, filling up your body completely if you'd like, but just filling your body with oxygen and positivity, life-giving breath. And release all the negativity, the stress, the worry out of your mouth. You're replacing the old energy with the new, okay? So we're in a new week. So now let's look at what this new week has to say for us. I'm going to shuffle the cards. Give me one moment. I'm going to give it just one extra shuffle. Okay, I'm going to say this. It feels like it's going to be a typical week in the sense that there's going to be opportunities that are going to sort of annoy us, bug us, get in our way, maybe feel like resistance. But the cards came together very nicely, and they also came together quickly. So I have a feeling that this week is going to move quickly for most of us. Maybe not for all of us. There might be some of us that are stuck more in our emotional selves and can't get out of it. We might be focused more on the negative, and so that sometimes, it's certainly with me, when I'm focusing more on the negative or what's not working, the days drag on, the hours drag on. I feel like if this is us, this shuffle feels to me like things will move rather quickly as long as we stay focused on doing the work, getting our goals accomplished. If things jump in our way that say, oh no, you can't do it this way, we sort of take on that attitude of, oh no, I can watch, and then you find maybe an alternate route to get it done. You might have to push against that resistance or move your way around that situation, but you can get it done, and the cards do come together. They do come together quite quickly. I also want to say that I get a hit on the fact that there might be a lot of stuff that gets done for most of you this week, like more stuff than you expect, or more, like you might find yourself at the end of the week slightly surprised with everything that you get done. Now, I know that there's some naysayers in this group. I know that there's some people that don't even want to get out of bed most of the time, so you may not relate to this, but maybe this is your opportunity or this is your week to get out of bed. Sometimes I'm one of those naysayers. Sometimes I'm one of those people that has a hard time getting out of bed. But you know what? I do know, and from yesterday's experience too, and from other experiences I've had in the past, when I'm productive, even if it's in small tasks, I feel a shit ton better mentally. And I feel like even something as simple as like sweeping my front yard and the steps for the public staircase out front make me feel a sense of accomplishment. And that high raises my vibration and makes me feel better. So I think that this is a week where we need to look for that. That's what I get from the shuffle. So let's look at the 3 cards for the week. We'll start with the beginning week card. Now this card could start with us, as of today. We may not experience this card until tomorrow. I'm gonna go back, if those of you that didn't watch last week's series from Sunday all the way through the week, there was a lot of going back and forth between the mind and the spirit, and it's interesting because I feel like our first card is a little bit more of that. This card is the time-space card. This card to me is Major Arcana, which says it packs a punch. It's got its own set of energy and lessons in it, but it's about taking time. It's about taking space. It's about meditating. It's about getting quiet within oneself. It's very similar to what we were being told last week. There is this, and with this new moon coming, I think that this is a good idea. We've got this new moon coming tonight. Maybe we need to be taking the time today to get quiet and contemplate, where are we in our lives? What is it that we're doing? What is it that's making us happy? What is working for us versus what is not? I think that this confusion, or not that it's confusion necessarily, but I look at these big swirls up here, it feels like there's a lot going on maybe in our minds, and we're not necessarily grounding it and trying to understand it and find the answers around it. There's this statue here to me feels like he's questioning where he wants to be. Hey Regina, how are you? Hey Chris Lily J. Hey Naya Figueroa. Please subscribe to the channel. So I feel like there's this opportunity for us to get clarity on what it is we want with this card during this week. But we have to take the time to get within ourselves, take the time, take the space, meditate, or, meditation doesn't have to be a formal, like sit down, close my eyes and breathe and concentrate on my breathing. Yes, it's a great way to meditate, but you can meditate by going and spending time in a garden, where you're just focusing on that one thing of the gardening and the healing process that takes place. Sometimes brilliant flashes of thoughts can come from there. Or sometimes it can be just focusing on your pets, or taking your dogs for a walk, or mowing the lawn, or even vacuuming the house. You can get into a sort of a meditative state because you're repeating the process over and over again, and you're just sort of paying attention to your thought processes and not going too far into the past, because we can't change that, and not going too far into the future, other than like maybe looking at, okay, where do I want to be? What do I want? What makes me feel best? What makes me feel good? And this card to me feels that way. It feels like today, Sunday, if it's starting for some of you, today would be a good day to take time and space to really reflect, get quiet, figure out what's on the horizon for you and what you want to be on the horizon for you. Some of that clarity, I think that's some of what was going on last week with these bouncing back between the logic and the moon card. We're still in that place. This is really about, we've had a couple of moon incidences. We had the new moon in Gemini, and now we have this full moon in Sagittarius. I don't consider myself much of an astrologer, but we've got it, and I think we had an eclipse too somewhere in all of it. There's a lot of like planetary activity that's going on that's shifting shit, whether we know it or not. I'm seeing a lot of memes about what this moon means and what that moon means, and I'm not one to want to live my life by memes, but I feel like there's something going on where, especially with these cards too, and the way that they're talking to us, they're really telling us to get clear on what it is we want and where we want to be, and then start acting on that. And it's like this melding of our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual selves sort of coming together and allowing ourselves to have that dream. And this is the beginning of that dream. Do you know what I'm saying? This is the beginning of refining that dream, thinking about it, saying, okay, instead of getting into that, oh, I can't have that because, like there's certain things like because, but, should. These words are not your friends, okay? So if you find yourself saying, oh, I should do this, or I can do this, but, well, with the minute you throw that but into the sentence, you are shifting your direction. You are shifting your energy flow. You're like turning the river the opposite direction. I want this job, but I don't think it's going to happen because, okay, you're totally shifting the possibility of even making that job happen right after saying that but, because you're entering that energy of lack or not having, you're bringing it in. This card is not about this. This card is about sort of contemplating everything, taking it all in, and allowing yourself to figure out and pinpoint where it is you want to be, where it is that it's going to make you the most happy, where are you going to feel the most centered, where are you going to feel alive and full. And so if you feel like you're not really clear on that answer, that's okay. In this card, it's wide open, right? It's time, space. So it's like, it's wide open. It's similar to the universe, but what you have to believe is that the universe will come to help you. No, Regina Jewett, I said no buts. And yes, find your dream. That's the thing. This is about searching for that dream. Even the small details. Sometimes we don't find the full dream yet. We just start to find the small details that feel good and pursue those. But really get contemplative today. Use this Sunday, if you're off and have a lazy Sunday, to kind of think about these things. And it doesn't have to be all day, and it doesn't have to be super serious. It just needs to be, take that time for yourself. And I think that this being a major arcana card, we're going to find that we are going to find some opportunities to really come across what it is we do want without giving ourselves any shoulds, buts, because, maybe, I don't know. A lot of us spend a lot of time saying that, myself included. It's bad language. It's bad messaging. It's bad vibration that we send out to the universe, and then we wonder why we're not getting what we want. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I say, oh, I want this, or I need to do this, but, well, you just undid what you need to do, So just keep that in mind. Okay, so that's at the beginning of the week. We might be dealing with that for a day or two. Sometimes some of us might be dealing with it for 3 days, and that's fully acceptable. Maybe even half the week. Who the hell knows? It's really your journey. It's just showing me sort of a broad array of what we're dealing with. So let me write that down. We've got the time space card. I like that this is kind of going along the same lines of this inner reflective thing that was happening last week. I think that there is this opportunity here for us to get clear and reach a next level. That's what my intuition is telling me, or what I'm sort of hearing back here, is that there's sort of this really key time right now where I don't know if it's because we're going into summer, I don't know if it's what's going on with the planets, but it feels like if we utilize this time wisely, we can really start to create some magical shit. like some stuff that we didn't even think we deserved or could have, or but we have to start to open ourselves up, like through the moon card, through our logic card, through the all the cards we had last week going into this week. They're telling us like this is really our sort of ship to steer. We just need to realize that and then start to figure out what waters we want to navigate. Okay? Thank you, Regina. I appreciate that. So let me look at the next card. So the next card, funnily enough, is a crystals card, which crystals deals with the mind. And this is the Eight of Crystals, and I'll put it up here. And again, it's similar to what we were going on last week. We had crystals all throughout the week, except the moon kept bouncing in and telling us, and then we had nurturing, which was a worlds card. But crystals had a heavy presence last week of showing us that we needed to like sort of work on our brains, on our mental stuff, pay attention to what we're thinking about mentally, what it is we're focusing on. What I like about this card is that it is an Eight of Crystals. Eight's a challenge in a way. Eights represent challenges in the tarot. But this to me is a challenge to find synthesis. We're trying to bring things together. We're trying to, oh, hi, that's a little loud. Let me turn that down. Sorry. We're trying to bring things together. We're trying to bring our communication to a more balanced place. These crystals here sort of feel off balance, and that's okay. What I think it is it's sort of trying to line it up with what it is we want. So if we take that time and space, if we were doing all those exercises last week of the moon and tapping into our intuition and what it is we really want, and we're sort of balancing that with our logical minds and sort of giving equal credit to both places and sort of working them together as a single machine or single unit versus, oh no, I can't do that. That's too crazy because my intuition says that and my logical mind says this. No, what we want to do is we want to bring them together, like in this card, in the synthesis card. It's our mind that's giving us trouble because our mind generally houses the ego, right? That's where our ego talks to us from. And so I think here, this card is showing us that at least there's a willingness to work from the mind's perspective, I think. There's something happening where I think the mind is coming around for all of us, where we're realizing we need more, where we're realizing we're disconnected, discontent, things aren't necessarily right. And so I think that this synthesis card to me says that we are doing the fine tuning, we are doing we are reflecting, we are picking through what's not working, and we're paying better attention to sort of the things we say to ourselves, the tapes we have running in our head, the ideas like, oh, I want to do that, but oh, there's that but again, I want to do that, but I can't because, no, you need to back that up and then go to the intuition side of things, the time-space thing, and go back and say, well, if I could do that, what would that mean? How would that feel? Oh my God, that would feel good. And live in that, and then go back to the mind side of things and find synthesis with that and go, okay, this would feel really, really good, and this is what I really, really want. And yes, it's maybe scary, or yes, it maybe seems impossible, but I believe that the universe will come through and assist me in helping me to achieve that. And if it's not right for me, if it's not my highest good, then I will know that too, and maybe I'll achieve something that's even better, right? So that's the thing. It's like retraining our brain to thinking alongside our intuition, to working with our intuition, to working with our hearts, to working with what our desires are, and to not be afraid of those desires. We're only on this planet for so long. I do believe in reincarnation, but I believe every time we reincarnate, we come here so that we can learn and so that we can achieve these goals, so that we can learn how to play within the magic that is the universe. If you watch any nature programming, how sort of perfect everything falls together, that's like nature and the universe at work, guys. Or medical programs. Like when I watch medical programs, like surgery programs, which I hate to watch, to be honest, but when I watch them, I cry because it's so fascinating to me how intricate the body works. But when you think about it, it's just literally like a skeleton housed in some skin, and skin is such a soft material, yet it protects us through such a harsh and crazy world. And there's something to be said for that. There's something so deeply beyond my comprehension. And when they open up like surgeries and they're talking about how this part works and this enzyme works there and it's like, it's all too, what's the word? Like, just like nature, it's almost too intricate to not have some sort of force behind it that is creating it all, right? So I believe that there is that force. I believe that we are all part of that force. And the sooner that we lean into that force, and the faster that we start to understand that that force is a part of us and wants to be a part of us and join us and play with us and move us forward, that's what we get. We start to experience like magic. This card says to me, our minds are ready to experience magic. They just might be a little bit fearful this week, and they might be trying a little bit harder to get in line with some of the things that I'm saying. But it's a good thing that they're trying to get in line, because lots of us, our egos are just like, no, we're not doing that. I got bills to pay. I got work to go to. And we're miserable, right? We're not really inspired. We're not really happy. We know that there's something more out there. Some of us maybe don't even know that there's something more out there. We just don't understand why we're not happy. But this card says to me that it looks like our mind is going to come around and deal with the challenges of trying to find what it needs to find to gain that synthesis, to understand and communicate better and more. And those communications within oneself will also reflect outward into our world. We'll find our relationships, our friendships will get better, our romantic relationships will get better with the communication, our work relationships could get better with communication, as long as we work with this energy of trying to find synthesis and trying to teach our mind to fine tune and come together. Okay, so that's going to be like your sort of midweek card. So some of you may experience that, opportunities for that starting as early as Tuesday, which would be, or it could even start Monday for some of you, but by Wednesday you'll probably be experiencing that or thinking about that sort of stuff. So now the third card at the end, interesting, he was at the beginning of the week last week, is the Man of Cups, which is Surfer. So he's back. Something is going on with these cards, guys. Something is telling us that we need to sort our heads and our hearts and get them working together. It was a total theme. I was laying in bed last night thinking about it, and I wanted to almost get on and do a quick post just about the whole week and how the cards laid out. And there's this message that I'm getting. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm just going to say it's a message that I'm getting. But this is all about us lining our hearts up with our heads and starting to realize that the two work together in conjunction. It's sort of like, I don't know if you're a religious person or not, but there's the mind, the body, and the spirit. And it's about bringing the three together. And when you're really in that place and you're in present time, you're in a place of creation and you're in a place of being able to be happy and have the things that you want. This card to me is the Surfer card. It's the Man of Cups. It's an emotional card. He showed up at the beginning of last week telling us not to get too heavy into things, not to get too deep, not to get too... yes, we can have our emotions. Yes, we can be aware of them, but we don't have to let them override us. He also shows up as, I feel like there's a dual meaning in this. So I don't know if there's some of you ladies out there that are single and there might be a man that you're entertaining. This could be a man by the weekend. And I hate to say that because it sort of feels future predictive and weird. But I do get a feeling that some of you, there might be like, I want to say like one or two of you that may watch this video, that there's some guy that's really charming and this is him and he's going to show up by the weekend. But for the rest of us, what I'm looking at this as is this is an opportunity for us to lighten up a little bit, for us to like do the work, juggle the mental space of, juggle the spiritual space or the lack thereof, and that time space card, and contemplate and go deep and spend a few days trying to figure out who it is we are, what we want, what we deserve, really learn our thoughts around that. Then we go to this Eight of Crystals card where we get to do the work around those thoughts. When you get to like really look at those thoughts and go, do these thoughts serve me? Are they getting me closer to my goals? Are they making me happier, or are they just protecting me in fear? I'm a big proponent of that. Like I pretend to use fearful thoughts and my mind tells me, oh no, but I'm protecting you. And I buy into that bullshit and it's a lie. And that's the truth. And when I look at those things, I'm like, oh, you're lying to me again. I know you mean well, and I know that you're my ego, and I know that you're my mind, and you are trying to keep me safe. But you know what? You don't necessarily have all the facts. My spirit has some of the facts. My body has some of the facts. My mind has some of the facts. I need to bring all those facts together and kind of sift through them and find what really is for my highest good. This Surfer card says to me, by the weekend, we will be riding that wave, feeling good, having the emotions, they don't go away. You know, we might be feeling a little bit emotional, but they're not going to be overriding us. And I feel like we will have synthesized a little bit of our brain and our spirit a little bit more together, so that we can enjoy this time, so that we can be charismatic. We might find ourselves attracting the attention of others. This big white flower here says to me, it feels like, you know, people might be noticing us. I get the feeling like people might say to you, oh my God, what's changed? Have you cut your hair? You look great. You look fabulous. And it's this man of surfer energy. It's this not being bogged down, not being heavy. And I know there's some of you in the group that are a bit heavy. I love you all, but there are some of you that stay stuck and heavy, myself included. And when I realize you guys are staying stuck and heavy, I get even more stuck and heavy. We need to stop doing that. Like, come out from under the covers, guys. I'm just as guilty. I need to come out from under the covers, but this is my way of coming out from under the covers, is showing up for you guys every day, trying to help you guys through. But I can't get you out from under the covers. It's up to you, right? And so covers are a great place. Don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, we need them. We need to like hibernate. Time, space is is a great opportunity for being under the covers, taking an easy day, being around the things you love, maybe treating yourself. Like today, since I have time, space, and it's a Sunday, I may go watch the Beyonce Homecoming movie on Netflix, because I think that bitch is fierce, and she makes me, when I watch her perform, she makes me see the power of a woman, and I love it. And I love that she I don't even think we realize what she's doing and how she's changing the perception of Black people, of Black women in music and her sexuality and all of that sort of stuff. She brings it to the forefront, and she is in effect changing things. She creates controversy because people are upset about it, because it makes them sort of shift their paradigms of what they feel around a woman being in power and owning her sexuality. And that's any woman, not even just a woman of color, right? So I may go spend time reveling in that, right, today. But I'm also going to take some time to meditate and take some time to like look at sort of what is it that I need so that I can be happy. And then, you know, this 8 of crystals in the midweek, it's going to allow me an opportunity. I might get into some fear. I might get into some worry. Maybe I was wrong. Oh my God, maybe that meditation made no sense. Maybe blah, blah. But I'm going to have to adjust that, right? I'm going to have to say, okay, that's great, mind. That's great, ego. You're a fear-based individual. I appreciate you trying to protect me, but I need you to step back and allow my heart also some information here. Let my heart speak. Where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? What's going to make me most happy? And I know sometimes hiding in bed feels like I'm making myself happy, but really what I'm doing is I'm hiding in bed, right? And that only adds to that anxiety. This surfer card gives me promise for the weekend. It means that I'm going to be buoyant. I'm going to be up above my emotions. I'll still have them, but I'll be feeling more in control. I'll be feeling like I'm surfing over them. Like I need them to carry me through, right? I'll appreciate them in a different way. I'll be able to sort of master them in a way and ride them. They don't necessarily ride me or control me or keep me in the bed. I can be like, oh yeah, I'm sad today, but I'm going to get up and go be productive. Or I can get up and go out and have somebody say, wow, you look great today. Did you cut your hair? Because it's got that kind of vibe. And then for some of you, there's some dude, I just feel that. There's some dude that's going to show up in your life. Just be careful of him because he's not very committal. I'm just going to say that. Hey, Elizabeth Richardson. And she says, hey there, dear, love you. Would love to hear what's going on to come with my daughter. Is moving home and her 2 children, and her husband is getting served on Thursday and doesn't know what is coming. Please help. That's not this type of moment. I'm doing just the weekly forecast. Can you hear my dog, Chris? I know, he's like panting. They were playing in the bedroom. They always go in rough house while I do the readings. And it's a little humid here, so they get affected by it. Elizabeth Richardson, I do private readings if you want to book. I have a link that you can private reading book, and I can look at that. All right, Darth Vader, you're breathing a lot. Can you go breathe in the other room? Thank you. So you can do that. You can join the Facebook group, and I might be able to answer questions there. I do free card pulls sometimes during pop-up events. And actually, I think tonight I do feel inspired to do a new moon pop-up event. I think we'll do just like single card pulls and pendulums for donations. There won't be any set prices. If you guys like your reads, you can certainly send me a donation because this is what I'm trying to do as my business. But you're fine, Elizabeth. Don't be sorry. Questions are totally allowed. This is just the morning forecast, so I try and keep it on the energy of the week. But if you join the group, I will be broadcasting from there tonight, probably like 6:30, 7 o'clock my time, and I'll do pendulum readings and single card pulls. If anybody wants to make donations, that's always greatly appreciated. This is my business. It helps support me to continue to do this, but it won't be mandatory. This will be like my little new moon give back to those of you that are there and present and want to watch. So make a plan to attend that. Ducky, if you can make a flyer for that, as if you're not busy enough. But I hope you guys got a lot out of the week today. I want you guys to, let me see. It's funny, the Man of Cups is back this week, ending out the week. He started last week, and now he's ending out this week. Makes me think that maybe we weren't very Man of Cups early last week. I bet you a bunch of us were a little bit more bogged down than we needed to be. We might have been in that moon energy a little bit sooner than expected, because he's coming back trying to teach us how to have our emotions but not get like overwhelmed by them. That's definitely his lesson here, is what I feel like. He's like, he has his emotions, but he also uses them, like this flower represents, like he's using them not only for to ride on and to get him where he needs to go, but he's also using them as growth to like produce, you know, the water underneath, which is the emotional side, is feeding that flower and creating beauty about him, right? And actually, I sort of believe that about myself. Sometimes when I cry, I'm in my true, most vulnerable self. I'm at my most beautiful, my most real. And so I think that that's what this card is about. So keep that in mind this week. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the card for the day. These energies will underlie the rest of the week, and we'll see how the cards play out and see how they intermingle with what we saw here today on Sunday. If anybody wants a private booking, you can feel free to privately book me for a reading. That's always available. It's done over Facebook Live or Facebook video, like on, not Facebook Live, but Facebook video or over the phone. Why is it not letting me post my link tree? That's so weird. Into the chat. Hi, nice board. Sorry. See if I can do that again. It's not letting me post into my own chat. It's so weird. Oh well, anyways, there is a link tree that you guys can find, and you can book private readings with me. Again, like I'm going to repeat, there is going to be a little live event tonight at about 6:30. I'll get on between 6:37 my time. That should be, I think, 4:30 or 5 Pacific time, and then I think 8 o'clock. No, I'm sorry. Is it an hour ahead on the East Coast? So maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. I might be off on that, but just join the group and you'll find me. I'll be broadcasting from the group and from my homepage, okay? So, and also like, share, follow, subscribe. Those of you that are on YouTube, please help me to get more subscriptions. I'm not exactly sure how YouTube works or where you post those videos, but I would love to get more people watching on YouTube. I do have plans for extending the channel. I want to start doing pick-a-cards and things like that. I just don't have the right proper camera stuff, and I'm not sure. I either need to go shopping for it here in Mexico and get the system figured out, or I might wait a month or two and figure out where I am then, and then, you know, we'll have other different things going on. You're welcome, Chris Lily J. Get some rest. Yes, and please share so I stay out of Facebook jail. It seems like I'm in a partial jail. Like it let me share to some and not others. So maybe I've been thrown out of the groups. Who knows? I don't know. 7 to 8 Eastern time? Okay. Yeah, so I'm planning on being on between 6:30 and 7, depending on how the day rolls out. But we can, you know, if I'm on around 6:30, I can just chit-chat until 7 and then start doing the readings by 7. so nobody misses out, okay? And Jennifer, try and be there so I can at least do that 3-card spread for you that you paid for and get that off the books. Because I would love to, you've been so generous with sending over donations that I would love to at least give you something back. You're always on it. You're on every broadcast sending me purple hearts, and I love it. So I appreciate it. All right, you guys, go out and have a really good day. Everyone fix your shake your phone to report a problem in Facebook settings. I know, but that could be anybody with a phone in Lightworker Lives feeds. It could be wherever I post. It's crazy because there's a lot of people that watch there. So I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, if you don't make it, Jennifer, that's fine. I mean, I know I've got you on the books. It's just, I just feel like, you know, I owe you. So, anything else? I think that's it, guys. I'll see you guys later tonight about 6:30, 7 o'clock my time. I'll be on and off the phone with Ducky all day, probably, looking at different flyers. We'll try and get a flyer up right away so that you guys remember and other people can find out about it. And I'm glad you were awake too, Crystal and Jay. All right, you guys. I fixed my shake to report a problem too, but I don't know. I think it has to do with maybe other people in bigger groups that don't even realize it. And, you know, they're shaking their phones and it's reporting problems and whatever. All right, I'm going to go back for a second cup of coffee because I need it. It's one of those days, and it's time-space, so that second cup of coffee will probably give me a lot of opportunity to think and ponder. Thank you, Regina. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Go out, and also the other thing I want you guys to remember too is no matter what the energy that's predicted here for the week, remember that like we can always overcome it, we can always choose different, we can always focus on what we choose to focus on, we can put our attention and our intention on the positive, and we're always blessed. You know, no matter what the energy, even if we're in the middle of a shitstorm. I try and find like what I've been doing lately, I think it was from Wayne Dyer. It was either Wayne Dyer or Dan Millman, I can't remember which one, but he was talking about how we need to find blessings for even the negative things that happen in our lives. So lately, like things that I deem as negative, I actually stop, get in the center of my head, and I thank the universe for that blessing. Even if I don't understand the teaching, even if I haven't fully learned the lesson, I thank them for the blessing. Like right now, I feel a little bit stuck in Mexico. I'm like, I'm not sure, should I move? I want to go home to the States, I don't know. Or is that a big mistake? I worked so hard to get here, and my head gets going. That's why I need the time-space card right now, right? But for me, I always stop and I go, okay, thank you for the blessing that I am here today. Because it's showing me patience. It's showing me that I'm strong. It's showing me that I can do this. It's showing me that my higher power has a plan for me. It's showing me that when the time is right, the answer will come. It's showing me that I have faith, stronger than most. It's showing me that I had the chutzpah or the cojones. All right, Darth Vader, can you go breathe somewhere else? You're being really loud. It showed me that I have the cojones to like get in my truck and move all the way across into a foreign country for a year. And so we'll see where it all ends up. And we'll see where you all end up. And I bet we'll all be greatly surprised in the end. All right, I'm going to sign off for now and have a good day. Bye. I'm blessed to have you guys too, Karen. I'm blessed to have each and every one of you. Without you guys, there would be no point in doing this. So thank you.